So in the previous video, we talked about quite a few different text-related properties, but we did not cover changing the size of some text. The property we use to do that is called font size, and it's honestly very simple. On one hand, it's just font-size, and then we specify a size. However, what makes it a bit more tricky at this point in time is that the options for these values range a lot. We have all sorts of different units in CSS and different values for sizes. We have things like these named values I've never used in my life: small, medium, large, extra large, and so on. We have pixels. We have these things called ems and percentages. We actually have quite a few: ems, rems, VHs, VWs, centimeters, inches, pixels, millimeters. The good news is that most of these are not used frequently, and also we don't need to use any of them right now. I'm just going to show you pixels, which is actually not something I generally recommend using all the time, but it's the easiest to get started with. And then we'll come back and learn more about these left-hand units, the relative units like ems and rems and percentages. So pixels, just px, are the most commonly used of these absolute units. Now they're absolute because the end result size of using pixels does not depend on anything else, no other elements or a parent's font size. It's always going to be the same, at least in your document. If something is 10 pixels and something else is 10 pixels, they will be the exact same size. Now it's important to note that, yes, it's called a pixel, but it does not necessarily equal the width of exactly one pixel on your machine. So it varies depending on the size of your display. It varies on a lot of things, actually. So it is not guaranteed to be 1 pixel wide, but it is guaranteed to be very small. A single pixel 1px is tiny. Note that I put at the bottom, not recommended for responsive websites. Just keep in mind we'll come back and we are going to learn some of these other units that are more commonly used today. But pixels still have a place, and I'll point that out when we get there. So let's play around with it. Let's change the font size of something. How about this right here, our H1? It's just font-size. And then I'm going to do pixels. How about 100px? Refresh. And there we go. It's significantly larger. Now I'm not going to do that. How about maybe 80? It's still pretty big, but maybe that's okay. So we can change the font size of anything, any text. Pixels, px. We also have these other very weird absolute units that I've never seen used on a website, like millimeters and centimeters. I'm told that those are more commonly used in print, like if you're laying something out to print out, but I don't know if that's true or not. But pixels have been used for a very long time. They're very common, but like I said, there are better units to use in today's world. We will learn them in time. Okay, I promise. So font size, super easy. The actual property itself, font-size, and then you specify some value.